and you're going to open an image from your computer. It's going to ask you to search for an image that you want. So I'm just going to pick one that happens to be right here in the area. I'll pick this one. Or this one? No, this one. It doesn't really matter. You decide which picture you want to import, boys and girls. And from here, you get to start playing around with this and making it into the image that you want. For example, here, right here is the crop tool. And notice if you hover over any of them, it'll tell you what the tool is. Okay? They all do something different. Here's the crop tool. So I can go into this photo, click and drag. I can drag open where I want to crop it. That looks about good, and like that. And then I would click, press enter on the keyboard, and there's my cropped photo. Now, if I don't like what just happened, do you remember what I showed you already about the history? Okay, look, here is the image that I started with, and here is the cropped image. So it's showing me the steps that I took. If I don't like that crop, what I can do is click on that, see, now it's highlighted, and then come up here to the trash can and delete that. I think. No, maybe I can't. Let's try that again. Well, what if I want to crop it differently? So I want to start from the original image. Notice that's blue and highlighted, the original image. And I want to crop it something like this, like that. And then I hit enter or return. And now look what happened here. It replaced the old crop with the new one. So I still have my original. I can always come back to the top. That's always the original. And now, but here's the new crop. So anytime you want to make a change, just come back to what you liked at the step before and then start editing your photo from there. So for example, if I go like that and I start drawing something on here, and then I go like, let's say I want to come up here and make an adjustment to the brightness and contrast, and I want to make it much, much brighter, and I want to bring the contrast down a little bit, like, or I want to bring it up a little bit, or who knows, like that. Okay, there. Now I have a brightness and contrast effect, right? But let's say I didn't like the pencil tool. So I click on it, and I cannot just delete that layer. Oh, yes, I can. Let's see. This is my first time working with the software too, boys and girls. Doesn't look like I can delete that one, but I could come back if I didn't like the pencil tool. See if I can just move that out of the way. I can't swipe it out of the way. It looks like you can only go back and undo one change at a time. So if I didn't like the pencil tool, I'd have to come back to the original image, and then let's say I wanted to apply a filter, like a noise filter, and I want to see what it does. It makes it all grainy. I can increase that number and make it even grainier. That looks kind of cool. And then click OK. And watch what happens to the pencil tool and the brightness and contrast. See these things right here? And when I click OK, those are going to be replaced by the noise filter. So that's pretty much all there is to it, boys and girls. I just want you to play around with these tools. And actually, these aren't even the main ones. The main ones you probably want to use are up here in the adjustment menu and in the filter menu. I want you to play around with all of those. And then all of these over here too. But these are more like adding, like you saw me use the pencil. These tools are more for like adding like splashes of paint and writing and stamps and that kind of thing. But they're kind of cool to play with if you want to play around with them. But try out some of these filters and some of these adjustments, because these can really make, let's try out the color vibrance here. Let's say I want to make this much more vibrant. Watch what happens to the colors. Woo, they get a lot more vivid. And let's click OK. And then that color vibrance adjustment goes into my history. Now, when you're done playing around with your photo and you like what you did, I want you to come up and do the most important thing that you need to do, which is save your file. So come up to File right here and go down to Save. You're going to click Save. You are going to give it a name, whatever you decide on. This is my test photo. You will call yours whatever you want to call it. And then when you're done, you don't have to touch anything else. You just click OK, and then you'll click where it's going to go. So you're just going to put it, I would suggest putting it in your Google Drive, in your photography folder, and even in a specific folder if you know exactly where you want it to go, like your close-up or your nature folder. And that's it, boys and girls. Have fun, be creative as always, and have fun and be creative.